Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's story is breaking from the South China Sea. China challenged a U.S. Navy ship, and it turned out to be a big mistake. This dramatic encounter has grabbed headlines globally, and here's what really happened. In recent weeks, tensions in the South China Sea have been rising. China has continued to claim sovereignty over large parts of the region, including international waters, but the United States has maintained freedom of navigation operations. On a calm morning, the USS Dewey, a U.S. Navy Arleigh-Burke-class guided missile destroyer, entered waters near the Spratly Islands. These are highly disputed islands, claimed by China, the Philippines, Vietnam, and other nations. As soon as the USS Dewey approached, the Chinese Navy radioed the ship, warning it to turn back, claiming it was violating Chinese territorial waters. The U.S. Navy replied calmly, stating it was operating in accordance with international law. But the Chinese Navy wasn't ready to back down. The Type 052D Chinese destroyer moved closer to the USS Dewey, attempting to shadow and intimidate it. The U.S. Navy stood firm, continuing its mission without deviation. Within minutes, multiple Chinese ships began circling the American vessel, warning it to leave immediately. Radar jamming and aggressive posturing followed, but the U.S. Navy remained professional and composed. The tension escalated when a Chinese ship crossed dangerously close to the Dewey's bow. Within just 100 meters, risking a collision at sea, the U.S. captain issued warnings and adjusted course slightly to avoid incident. The U.S. Navy's response was clear. Freedom of navigation will not be threatened, and international waters will remain open. After hours of high-stakes shadowing, the Chinese Navy backed off. Realizing the U.S. Navy was not going to be bullied, the message was sent loud and clear: any attempt to intimidate the United States Navy will fail. Pentagon officials later stated that the USS Dewey acted professionally, responsibly, and in accordance with international maritime law. Meanwhile, China's Ministry of Foreign Affairs issued a strong protest, accusing the U.S. of provocation, but international observers sided with the U.S., noting that the Spratly Islands lie in contested waters, not Chinese territory. Military analysts have pointed out that such encounters are becoming more frequent and more dangerous. But this incident proved one thing: when challenged, the U.S. Navy does not retreat, it stands its ground. This face-off has once again highlighted the rising tensions between two superpowers, the U.S. and China, and the strategic importance of the Indo-Pacific region. America's allies, including Japan, Australia, and the Philippines, have shown concern and expressed support for the U.S. stance on open navigation. This isn't the first time China has tested America's patience, but it was one of the most reckless moves seen in recent months. The U.S. Navy, with its decades of experience and unmatched naval power, sent a strong signal to Beijing. That international law is not optional, and bullying will not work. The South China Sea is one of the world's busiest trade routes, with over $3 trillion worth of commerce passing through annually. Controlling these waters would give China significant power, but the U.S. and its allies are determined to keep them open and free. Following this incident, the U.S. Navy has increased its presence in the region, with more patrols and joint drills with allies. China, on the other hand, is building more artificial islands, arming them with missiles and airstrips, hoping to fortify its claim. But with every aggressive act, it risks international isolation and stronger resistance. The world is watching, and countries across Asia are quietly choosing sides. This encounter may seem small, but it reflects a much larger power struggle unfolding at sea. For the United States, the message is clear: no challenge will go unanswered. The USS Dewey returned safely to its base, completing its mission with honor. The crew is being praised for their calm, discipline, and strength under pressure. China's gamble to intimidate backfired. Instead of scaring the U.S. Navy, it exposed its own desperation. Experts believe such incidents could escalate in the future, and both sides must maintain communication to avoid miscalculations. But the current reality is this: the U.S. Navy is not backing down, and freedom of navigation will be defended. As the situation unfolds, we will keep bringing you updates. Stay tuned. Subscribe to our channel for more defense news, geopolitical analysis, and real-time reports from the world's hotspots. Thank you for watching. This has been your update on the South China Sea confrontation. China challenged the U.S. Navy ship, but it turned out to be a very big mistake. The aftermath of this incident has created waves in diplomatic circles. Washington has made it clear that the U.S. will continue its operations in international waters, regardless of China's objections. White House officials called the Chinese move irresponsible and dangerous, emphasizing the importance of freedom of navigation. International allies have echoed similar sentiments. NATO issued a brief statement urging China to respect global norms, while Australia's defense minister called the US response professional and justified. India also reacted cautiously, stating that maritime laws must be respected by all nations. In Beijing, Chinese state media painted a very different picture, accusing the United States of deliberately provoking regional instability. However, independent analysts noted that the U.S. ship did not enter any recognized Chinese waters, and was fully within its rights under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea. This isn't just about one ship or one sea route, it's about who controls the future of global trade routes, and who sets the rules on the world stage. China wants to replace existing rules with its own terms. The U.S. and its partners are determined not to let that happen. This naval face-off reflects that growing ideological battle, one between authoritarian control and democratic freedom. The South China Sea is just one of many flashpoints. Taiwan, the East China Sea, and the Pacific Islands are all becoming zones of friction. Each encounter like this adds pressure to an already strained relationship. And while both nations want to avoid open war, the risk of accidental conflict is growing. Military exercises in the region have doubled. Both China and the U.S. are now deploying more advanced ships, submarines, and aircraft. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command has confirmed increased patrol schedules, and satellite images show China accelerating its military buildup on artificial islands. Back in Washington, defense experts are calling for stronger partnerships in Asia, enhanced intelligence sharing, and quicker response protocols. This is not just about China and the U.S. anymore. It's about shaping a global order where freedom of navigation, free trade, and open seas remain protected. Every time a U.S. Navy ship sails through contested waters, it sends a message. That intimidation will not replace international law, and that the world is watching. The USS Dewey may have left the scene, but its presence made a strategic impact. It proved that presence matters. It proved that even in the face of aggression, the rule of law will prevail. China, by trying to confront the U.S. ship, only embarrassed itself, and lost credibility among neutral nations. This was not a display of strength, but of insecurity. The US, on the other hand, displayed strength through restraint, calmness in chaos, and dominance without provocation. The real winners in this showdown were the principles of freedom, stability, and global cooperation. China's move was meant to scare, but it backfired. It woke up the world. Diplomatic talks may resume, but the reality remains. The oceans belong to no single country, and peace requires respect for law. As the South China Sea simmers, more challenges may come. But the U.S. Navy is ready. Its mission is not to dominate, but to defend, not to invade, but to ensure access. For every nation, every vessel, and every individual who values free and open seas. China's challenge may be remembered, but so will the response.com, powerful and principled. Will continue to follow this story as it develops, and bring you updates as new information comes in. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real-time news, deep analysis, and global conflict reports. This was another bold chapter in the power struggle of our time. China challenged a U.S. Navy ship, and it was a big mistake.